I'm Jan Sahagun, one of the co-founders of Trellis. We're currently building the future of short-term rentals with agents at Y Combinator in San Francisco. It means that operations are executed by agents and they're not just tracked by software. So how the old stack looks like is that you have a system of record, so something that is going to be storing data. And an AI system, an AI native system, is something that is built on a system of action. So it's built on a unified data layer that will give agents full operational context of your business, of your STR business. And concretely what that is that it's operable by AI. So meaning that every action that a human can take, an agent can take. So whether it's dispatching a cleaner, sending a guest, payment link, responding to guests, communicating with owners, opening an Airbnb claim, all these different things that humans are doing should be able to be done by an agent. And then also orchestrated, so not just automated, right? So an agent will maintain a live model of the business and continually reschedule work as reality changes. So rather than running one fixed workflow, it'll be dynamic. And then also self-improving. So every error and edge case will feed back into better workflows, and the data models will produce better behavior for the product. And so the frame is that chatbots are co-pilots, the agents are like employees, and the orchestrators are managers. So AI native STR ops mean that a manager grade agent runs the operation basically instead of a human. I think there are multiple ways. One of them is simply timeline. So, if something was built before October, November last year, it's definitely not AI native because that technology simply didn't exist, right? There were no agents at the time. Then I would also look past the AI label because everyone is trying to market they have AI, etc. And the market is full of AI fatigue. But yeah, I would check if there is really a unified data layer versus a point solution. So if it connects to literally everything. Also, is it something that just answers and gives us information, or something that actually executes and acts? Then are there actually agents that can operate the whole product or just suggest things, right? And also, does it adapt to your business, or are you the one adapting to it, right? And then I would say also velocity. So I think that AI native companies just ship at a crazy speed like we were doing it. And so if every time you request something it takes ages, or it never gets delivered, it's definitely not AI native. I think there's a stage path. So, it's not just flipping a switch and you become AI native. I would say that the first step would be to unify the data. So you cannot have intelligent agents run without a single operational layer. So you need to consolidate everything and have that data unified. Then I would say also getting operational discipline, and hygiene. So basically making the business queryable. So every call, every message, every task, everything needs to be logged as structured events so that the agents can query that. And so agents, they're just as good as the operational record that they read. Then I would say codifying your SOPs into workflows, right? So basically turning your procedures, whether it's early check-in, damage claims, AC complaints, every single edge case into software that agents can execute 24/7. Then I would say letting the agents take the closed loops. So essentially, starting with high frequency, well-balanced loops. So triaging, dispatching, updating guests, checkout damage, then task, then claim. So basically, closing those loops entirely and keeping the humans on escalation. So you can always have a human in the loop if you wanted to. And then expanding into orchestration. So basically handing the agent the live operational state so it can, schedule, reprioritize, follow up continuously, and not just like one task at a time, but like simultaneously. And then I would say redirect, freed up humans to brand. So essentially, once the ops run themselves, I would focus the people on hospitality, designing guest experiences, upsells, improving the brand of the company, focusing on direct bookings, growing the portfolio with more customer owner acquisition, etc. So yeah, I think it moves hospitality from the Uber model to the Waymo model. So today's STR is Uber, right? So it's a marketplace that is coordinating fragmented supply, where humans make individual decisions and quality varies widely. So you might get a spotless place or hair in the shower, and the platform has no idea which until you complain, right? Like the thing is that if you have agent run ops, like Waymo, essentially, the execution is controlled end to end. So the quality becomes a software problem and not a people problem. And so then it can be controlled and it can be promised and delivered. So what will change for the guests is that nothing will fall through the cracks. Like every message, every task, and every handoff will be tracked. So, follow-ups won't depend on a human remembering, because the agent will have that context. And then it will be proactive and not reactive. So the agent reaches out before the guest notices the cleaning is late. It will anticipate problems. It will resolve the broken AC by dispatching and confirming before, and handling early check-ins instantly, instead of you having to check through the calendar and maybe even miss it. And then we'll be able to standardize as hotels. So great reliability, hotel grade reliability, at the consistency guests currently leave STRs for hotels to get, right? So we need to get to that level of reliability. And then personalization and upsells will become programmable. So once the operation is under control, that's what you would get. So essentially, the service becomes predictable, measurable, and quantifiable, rather than just dependent on individual humans. I see it as a software-run hospitality industry where the operating layer and not the booking layer holds the power. So essentially, it will be agents that run operations across thousands of homes, so that the quality is software enforced and measurable. The platform knows which homes are actually serviced well, not just which have good photos or old reviews. It will also become the trust layer that Airbnb cannot own, right? So Airbnb controls discovery and the booking. And I'm saying Airbnb, but I mean all the OTAs, of course. But they don't control the cleaners, the maintenance, the linens, the accesses, the issue resolutions. They don't have control over the operations of the properties, right? Only the distribution. So they cannot guarantee the stay, right? So it's whoever runs the operations behind the stay that owns the trust of the guests, like hotels essentially, right? And then the discovery will also, decommoditize. So essentially, as guests will book through their own AI agents, they don't need an OTA's UI, right? The agents search the open web and then compare supply directly. And the OTA's discovery mode simply erodes. And so trust is what remains. And if we own the operations, we own the trust. And then I would say also that the market will consolidate and will be less fragmented. It will defragment. So basically, the operators that are stuck at 50 listings will be able to break through, because the operations will finally scale cleanly. So enabling a federation of property management brands where experience is designed by humans and ensured by software, share best practices, SOPs, and guest intelligence across the whole network. And then also stack inversion. So the operating system up the chain replace ops software, replace the PMS, reduce the OTA dependence, and then the operator controls the execution. So they can become a trusted booking network where guests and their agents prefer software enforced inventory. So if I was to sum up in one line, I would say that Airbnb built the marketplace, and by 2030, the value accrues to whoever builds the machine that runs it. And I think that's what we're doing right now. And yeah, if you want to meet us, we'll be at IMN Short-Term Rental Summer on June 23rd in Carlsbad, California. And you can always just go to our website at trellistech.com and shoot us a message. Cheers.